everybody, I'm back, yay! So, you know, there's so many people of you watching tonight. It's actually making me feel all warm and fuzzy around my heart, and that is also not the cider. If you have only just joined, then you won't know that I'm on the cider and thoroughly enjoying myself here. Though once I get to the bottom of the glass, I better be at the end of this tutorial, because alcohol has a very soporific effect on me and it usually makes me go to sleep. So wake me up. Wake me up before you go, basically. Okay, so here is to winged insects, bees. Bees are so important. Without bees, there wouldn't be any cider. Have you thought of that? So we have this month in our May flock box, and I will also just say it again and again and again, that our flock box is almost 1 year old. Our membership of you being flockers is almost 1 year old, and we are working on a very cunning plan what reward you get if you have been a continuous member for 12 months, and therefore you're going to be promoted to become a fellow flocker, not just a member flocker, but a fellow flocker. So let's have a look what you might find in our flock box this month. Obviously there is the newsletter that you always get in our sub boxes, and some of you, I don't know if I need to read this again because you've all had all this stuff, but basically in your box this month you have the Portuguese merino. I have to smell this wool because it smells so delicious of sheep. Oh, a glass of cider and the smell of sheep. This is like bliss in the country. This is a great wool to needle felt bees because it's a very short fiber and it makes tiny shapes very quickly, super fast. Our sheep swatch this month is yellow. If you feel very apprehensive to undress your sheep, i.e. take the wool off, then you might get away just teasing off tiny wispy bits. I didn't know there was such a thing, that people don't like to take the wool off their sheep swatches. I have suggested in the past that you can actually put back some on again. However, apparently that's not the same. So this is the golden yellow New Zealand merino. You also get some black wire, which you might ask what you need that for when you make insects, but it will all be revealed. You have some organza wings in there. Now we love the organza wings. They work for fairies. They work for dragonflies. They work for bees. They pretty much work for quite a few insects, because you don't necessarily have to use them at this full size. You can actually cut them smaller. So just giving you an idea here already. And then also you're getting in your box this month our own design wings. This is really hard to show now, but these are designed by us and printed on acetate paper, and you can cut them out. So you can have tiny little wings here, or you can have big wings. And I'll show you all of this in action, and I'm even going to make some of this together with you in a second. Right, I've got my felting mat. I'm actually using the firm base this time because I'm working on a really small project, but also I need to do some flat felting. And just to show you, this is the bee with the acetate wings. So it's probably quite hard to see, but yeah, there they are. Maybe on my dark jumper. They're the wings. And they have sort of when they are printed, you can see little veins that are on there. That's the bee with the acetate wings, and I've actually given the bee a little the wire as a little antennae here. So that's that. Then you have a dragonfly here with the organza wings. So that's another use, and I'll show you how to make the dragonflies. And then I also will show you. I'm not going to show you how to make it because we've already got tutorials for it. But the reason this is Angelina fiber, and the reason why I'm showing you the Angelina fiber on this particular bee is because the Angelina fiber is part of the sub club. or has been in May, and stays there until the next sub-club treat or discount is available. And it was Angelina fiber, sari silk, man-made sparkly stuff, rummy, and water-soluble paper. And the reason why I have got a butterfly here is because that's using the water-soluble paper. Again, there are tutorials, but we're talking wings, and so there are so many ways of making wings. And I talk you through this, but do hop onto our YouTube channel and just type in the Makers Angelina Fiber wings or something like that, and you get the tutorial of how to make wings. It is also featured in my books. And of course, the water-soluble paper, we have several tutorials on how to make wings or petals or leaves or anything that's sort of delicate and thin with the help of water-soluble paper. And especially if you are into fairies, you will love the Pansy Fairy for the month of May, because all of this is water-soluble paper. And it makes the wings particularly stiff with the water-soluble paper. Her dress even is water-soluble paper, but it's not being dissolved. It's staying in there, so you can still see the edges of the water-soluble paper here, and it just becomes part of the project. And of course, the flower petals here are also made with the help of water-soluble paper. So, oh, you're going to love this fairy so much, because you also make her beautiful curls. Yes, anyway, not giving too much away on that one, because you can get the kit already on pre-order, and it's going to be sent out very, very soon. But before I get started, I'm just going to see what the chat is doing, because I know there's many of you and so many chatting. Lots of you are saying you can't undress the sheep. I thought, what do you mean you can't undress the sheep? And then I remembered it's of course the sheep swatch. So, but you can undress the sheep, honestly, it doesn't mind. Just wrap some toilet paper over it if you don't like to see the sheep naked. I haven't undressed my sheep either. Laura says, me neither. This is cracking me up. I have bought so much Angelina fiber, says Hannah. It gets everywhere, but I love it. Yes. Well, we had this whole conversation about tell me the weirdest places where you have found Angelina fiber. I'm sure none of you have mentioned the real true places where you found it, but I have found it once in my dog's poo, and you can't miss it because it like sort of sparkles and you think, ooh, what's this? Yes, so anyway, we're not going there. Angie says, your books are amazing, so many things to learn and clear instructions. Oh, thank you. I actually have got 3 here on the shelf. If you don't know the books, let me know if you want me to show them to you. I can't wait for the Poppy Fairy. I'll gift it to my dad who fought in the Falklands War. Ah, that's such a lovely thought, and it's an amazing fairy, the Poppy Fairy, the official flower fairy. I found it in my cat poo. This is obviously the Angelina fiber. Hilarious. Hannah said, Amber says, I have never made butterflies or dragonflies, but I'm excited to learn. Oh, says Margaret, no, can't take the wool off. Poor sheep. In my hair, but only after 4 hours at work. Yeah, you can sort of have that sparkle. I really like sparkling. Jane says, mine will be for my grandfather and 2 uncles. Oh. Heidi says, I also haven't undressed many of my sheep. This is obviously a really popular topic. Has anybody ever undressed their sheep? Let's have it. Come on. Be brave and own up. Come out. Tell us, have you undressed your sheep? We're of course talking about the sheep swatch. It's actually really skinny underneath, but you wouldn't know if you've never undressed your sheep. So, right, let's just get started with a bit of fun here, making some bees. Shall we start with the bees? Okay, here we go. Let's get the felting mat at the ready. So you will have to look away when I get a little bit of yellow from my sheep swatch, if that is, if you find that disturbing, because I have to undress a little bit of the sheep to do this. But what I love about this Portuguese merino, which obviously comes in your Try Me, in as a Try Me product in your box is that it's a really short fiber, and normally we don't use it for making a core unless you're making something really small. And so you're basically just winding your little patch of wool, wind it in really nice and tight, and as I'm winding it in, I'm already folding the ends in so that I get to a really tight little sausage shape. Some of you will have heard me tell you this story before, but I will tell you again. So I'm just gonna finish that little so you don't miss anything, and then take your medium felting needle and just stab it closed. Oh, that's an extra fine. Thought it wasn't working much. You might find that the medium needle is already too coarse, so try the fine needle. Therefore, I've really rolled this up very tightly. These bees don't take very long at all. So what I was going to tell you is that years and years ago, I can't even remember how many years, but it was many years ago. Probably, well, it can't be that many years because maybe 7 years ago, let's say 7 years. We used to go to the handmade festival that was organized by Kirsty also. I'm drinking a sip of cider. And I run a workshop. I've got to tell you this by just looking at you. Has anybody heard this story before? Have I told it so many times that you're actually falling asleep silently? So I run a workshop in a masterclass. It was called a masterclass. 45 minutes to teach people how to make a bee. And in fact, they were making 2 bees, and they were quite big, like that. And 1 bee they were allowed to take home, and another bee was pinned on a board because I think it was Velcro who were sponsoring the workshop. So they had Velcro to pop the bees on the wall, and it was this big feature. It was only a big feature because the show was over 3 days. Are you ready for this? And I had 300 people in a huge marquee teaching them how to make a bee. Can you imagine 300 total beginners, letting them loose with felting needles, making a bee? I was absolutely terrified. And not only did they have to make 1 bee, they had to make a second bee in 45 minutes, never having needle felted before in their life. Obviously, I was mic'd up and on a big screen, but still, it was honestly I had absolutely no concept what people were doing. You can't just sort of pop along and say, "Oh, let me give you a hand. Oh, you over there, 5 miles away. I'll just come quickly and show you how to do this." So the bees therefore looked. Well, as soon as you put the yellow stripes on, it's a bee, right? But the story that I really want to tell you is that this was the first show or the first festival that we've ever attended, the Handmade Fair. And Kirsty is, of course, a bit of a, I don't know, bit of a celebrity. So I was actually quite keen to make a good impression. I mean, as it happened, she has endorsed one of my books, so I got to know her a bit more, and she's actually really nice. But this is before I even met her. Somebody came to our stand and said, "Oh, I've just been on your workshop," and I'm like, "Oh, great!" And she says, "Yes, and I've just bumped into Kirsty Allsop, and I told her all about it." And I said, "Oh, wow, she's mentioned me. This is great." And she said, "Yes, I've just told Kirsty that I've made a brown poo with yellow stripes." So this was the first thing that Kirsty ever heard about me, was that I'm teaching people to make brown poos with yellow stripes. So anyway, obviously I'm here to tell the tale, so it hasn't completely traumatized me, but we're making a bee. Right, here we go. Bee. Nice little brown shape. Nearly said the word, but I'm not. Give it a few stabs to shape it a little bit more. And you can sort of almost pinch it a bit on each end to like pinch it in a bit, and then just give it a more concentrated stab on the underneath, so that it curves in a little and it's not just a long shapeless sausage. So it looks a little bit like a kidney bean now. And then the next thing, look away if you cannot bear this. You're going to take tiny wisps of yellow. It's all good. and you just wrap it around it. Now you can put 2 stripes or you can put 3 stripes. You can make them really dainty, like so. Felt them on, like so, and allow the fiber to spill out if you wish, or you can make them really absolutely solid with clear edges. You can do that too. Everybody has a preference what their bees are meant to look like. So if you do this, the neat edge, then you have to stab into the space between the yellow and the brown to neaten that edge up. Fit a 3rd stripe on there. If you're making a bumblebee, it's usually 2 stripes, and if it's a buff-tail bumblebee, they have a white bottom, so a little wisp of white wool on their bums. And because this workshop obviously is about wings, I'm going to show you first that you can actually use these wings to adapt them to bee wings. So these are the organza wings, and what I would do is double them up so you don't have to cut each wing shape separately. So just overlay them and then just cut them smaller like that. There. 2 little bee wings can now be attached, and to attach them, decide what's the front and the back of your bee. Just add a tiny bit of wool on to the part that joins the wings together. You can glue them, that's another way of attaching them. But if you felt them on, then you don't need any glue to do this. So there's your first bee using the organza wings. And bees look always lovely when they're in large numbers. So there's the bee, ready to buzz away. Now if you are wanting to give it little antennae, then use the wire. If you've got wire cutters, use wire cutters, or be me and use your scissors. Yeah, just a little bit of wire. Now the next bit, I will use some pliers if I have got them here, because I want to curl the ends in, but you can also use your scissors to do this, just so that you have them slightly curved, not curved, but almost like a little snaily bit at the end. So I'm just going round and round, making sort of a little feature at the end of the end of one. There. Oh, you can't really see, can you? Let me see what's going on here. Let me see if I can bring that in a little bit. There will be a point where keep getting pins and needles in my foot. I think this is still to do with all my nerves mending after the operation. So I've done one end. I've literally just twirled it in a random fashion, and you need to obviously either feed the wire through before you do the other end, or don't do either end, and then just add a dab of glue where the wire goes in and out, and there you've got your little antennae ready. So they're just, at the moment they're swiveling around, but if you take the glue pen, just add a dab of glue. Oh, I used that last night, it's clogged up again. It's a naughty glue bottle. Doesn't look too bad from that end. Just poking some dried up glue. Ah, there's the culprit, look. Oh dear. Got a lot of glue on that needle now, that's not good. Yes, don't use your felting needle doing this, like I did, because it just have to felt it into the mat a little bit now. Make sure it's not covered in glue. Right, lid back, nozzle back on, dab of glue, and of course this glue dries completely clear. So I'm just going to leave it be now. That's my little first bee that I've done with the little wings and the antennae. Right, so I thought I'd also show you, while I'm at it, how to make a bee where if you look at a bee really close up, they almost have this sort of furry surface. So I'm going to make a larger bee now. Now this is the same principle. You use your brown wool and wind it into a sausage shape, which resembles very much something else, but I'm not going to even say it. And then close it up. So somebody's asking whether the virtual so the fate goodie bags for the virtual tickets for our birthday party, they will be sent out before the event. So don't worry about that. They're in the making as we speak, and they'll be posted out to you. But we don't want them to appear too early on your doorstep because they're sort of a little bit of a surprise for everybody. So we don't want you plastering it all over the place, because they're literally the same as everybody's getting. There's two types. There's a standard one and a premium one. So, but they are the same, basically. Right, so there's the larger version of the bee now. Now you can look away. Look, I'm taking a little bit of yellow off my sheep swatch. Oh dear, this is definitely. I'm not even showing it. And you will remember from one of the flock tutorials where I've shown you how to plant fur, and you can do that. You can do this exact same thing with a bee as well. So lay your patch of yellow on, and then all you're going to do is stab it in the center. So it's almost like you're making a parting, and then brush it over to that end. Actually, it's that end, and then shorten it. So now you've got a fluffy stripe here, and then you do the same with the brown, even though there's brown already, but you want little bits of brown to overlay onto the yellow so that you get that furry effect. So then you do that going this way. So felt into the center. It's probably harder to see for you now because it's brown on brown. And then you brush that back as well, and then you're going to shorten that as well, but not so short that it doesn't create that fuzzy look. Yeah, and then you've got your second layer here now, and it gives that bee that furry look. Then you use the yellow again. It uses a little bit more wool. So go across the bee again, felt into the center. I'm not going all the way around doing it this way. I'm just going around down the sides. Then you can see it's quite long. So now I'm cutting it a little bit shorter and brush it back. So you get a really fluffy looking bee, and it's actually really lovely. And then you can do that again, repeat it with a brown, and it just gives it a little bit more of a realistic look. I'm going to do that one more time here. And then we decide what wings we're going to put on this one. And then you've got your bee here. Now you can now you can decide, or let's use some of the acetate paper wings. So got lots of sizes. These are definitely too big. So in fact you have 3 sizes. So these are the large. Are they? You might have. Is that the same size as that? Yeah, I think so. So you have 3 rows of large, 3 rows of medium, and 3 rows of tiny. So the tiny are probably too tiny. Let's go for the next size. But remember, you can also shorten those wings if you want. So just get one set cut away. Now you are cutting these wings in pairs. So you are actually severing them, but not the individual pair of wings, though you do have to cut in between them. So it's a little bit fiddly. You can do it, especially if you're trying to find that paper. Make sure you round them off nicely so they don't look square. That's one of them there, and then the second one. Can you imagine how many bees you can make? And they always look so nice in numbers. Or if you're making them bigger, why not get some no-sew brooch pins and give them away? I'm always a great fan if you're making little handmade gifts. If you're going to somebody's house and they've invited you for supper, or you know that they love bees, why not make them a couple of bees with a slightly sort of fluffy appearance. Pop a brooch pin onto them, one of our no-sew brooch pins, which I will show you in a minute, and then you can give them as a gift, and maybe a little crown on it, especially if they love bees, because bees are queens. All bees are queens. I mean, they're not really, but we should treat them all like queens. So then you now have to decide where the wings are going. Maybe here, something like that. Would know which way round your bee is facing, and you have to glue them on. So I'm just going to part the wool a little bit here, make a tiny dent, so the edge of that paper can go in there. Pop the wing in. Make sure that it sort of stays there, and then just allow it to dry. That's all you need to do. You really don't need to do anything else to fasten them on. And of course, if you prefer using other glue, you can do that too. But there you have your, I think I've popped the wings the wrong way around on. They should be here. It looks like it's got wings on its bottom, because I just have to make the fur go the other way. No, I'm going to put the wings on in the right way. Okay. See, I make mistakes too. So let's cover that up. I can't bear it that it's got the wings in the wrong place. Let's cover up the glue and then start again here. Let's pop them here in the yellow. It's not the side up, I promise. It's just, I don't know what it is. It's just how it is. There. One, and tiny dent here, so I can add a bit of glue into it and then poke the sharp end of the wing into it. Is that the right way around? Yes. Here we go. Wings attached. There you go. Now it's flying the wrong way, the right way around. So that's bee number 2, then let's just do a little check-in. On this bee, by the way, this is all I've done, is I've literally glued the wings in and they're staying like that. On this little bee, I've also added little eyes, little glue-in eyes. So the 3mm eyes will be absolutely fine for that. That one has got a white bottom for a buff-tail bumblebee. And it looks absolutely delightful. Imagine you have that as a little brooch and wear it. Can't show you that because you can't see that on the overhead camera. But I'm just going to go back to the camera so I can actually read some of your comments. I have a whole flock of naked sheep, says Pauline. Yay! They're also maybe referred to as shorn. Oh dear, getting close to the end. Right. Terry says her sheep are all still dressed. I was there. Christine says, I was there. You were where? It's terrible. I never remember what we were talking about. Are the fate? Yes, I've answered that. Ew, flying poo. No, it wasn't flying. I closed my eyes, says Margaret, whilst I was undressing the sheep, no doubt. No, leave the sheep alone, says Diane. Oh gosh, hang on a second. My daughter's birthday is June the 20th. Nice time of year to have a birthday. I agree. Because Hannah's birthday is on the 20th of June as well. Oh, that's amazing. And you're coming up. You are coming actually in person, Hannah. We can have a double birthday celebration. That's so nice. Anita says, it's mine on the 7th and I'm dropping large hints. We're hearing you loud and clear, Anita. Can you use a reverse felting needle to make them more fluffy? You can, but remember you have got to plan. When you use a reverse needle, you have to plan what you put inside to pull it on the outside. So you won't be able to make the yellow fluffy. You can make the brown fluffy because the bee is made from brown. And then the yellow obviously will be on the surface. So I think you will pull the brown through the yellow with a reverse needle, if that makes sense. Sorry, lots of people have answered this already. Yes, just use a fine though, so you don't lose the shape. Little stabs too. I'm making a bee from scraps as we left home before my box arrived. Am I the only one who travels with loads of wool? Well, actually, Angie, you have no idea how much wool I'm taking with me on such a day. I think I'm taking the whole workshop with me. Yeah, I've got a big list. Take this, take this, take this, take this, take this, take this. So just between us, this is another secret you're not allowed to say. So you're not allowed to tell anybody I'm on the cider, and you're not allowed to tell anybody the next thing I'm telling you. But I'm actually getting ready for the next cats protection craft along. It's not official yet because they've got another craft happening as we speak. So if you love cats and you're supporting Cats Protection, then do go onto their website and support the craft that's currently on, which is actually iris folding with Pretty and Paper by Bee. But we are getting ready, and we are this time doing the autumn event, not the Christmas event, but the autumn event, which will put it in your diary now. But don't tell anybody yet. The craft along is on the 14th of September, just between us. And do you want to know what we're making? Oh my God, I'm going to get in so much trouble. Don't tell anybody. You must not say anything. I have to come and find you and make you silent forever. We're doing needle felted cat jewellery. Not saying it again. Once is enough. Once is enough. So I'm really excited by that. So I'm taking that away with me. I am also taking away with me... No, I'm not taking the fairy. The fairy will be done. I'm not taking the fairy. I'm going to finish off the dragon, so please don't be cross with me if it's a day or two late. I'm sure there's other stuff. Oh yes, I'm making a strawberry fairy. And I'm sure there's something else, but I've obviously blocked it out of my head so I don't feel too stressed about it. Any which way, I want to show you how to make a dragonfly, because for this you can use the wire, and can you I'm just going to sorry, I'm reading quick. And she took 3 bags of wool and 3 kits. That's amazing. Yay, kitty cut along. Oh, it's a kitty cut along. Oh, I like that. What? I can't wait for the Cats Protection make-alongs. I've signed up for the paper thingy. Excellent. I've now put the 14th in my diary. Hannah is so excited. Carol says shh. Yes, this is the cider speaking. The glass is empty. What is she like, says Colette. Heidi says, was that the 14th of August or July? It's actually the 14th of September, so neither. But the sales will start going live on the 5th of August. But we're doing it on the 14th of September. But don't tell anybody. It's a secret. It's a secret between us. Looking forward to your Cats Protection make-along, Steffi, says Sharon. What is the theme for the June flock box? Oh, good question. It's Christmas in June, and I happen to have it here. Do you want to see it? So, I'm pre-recording the unboxing of the subscriptions and membership. So, but I happen to have here what we are making. Do you want to see it, or do you want to keep it as a surprise? So, June is all about teaching you, until the cows come home, how to... Do you want to see it? Let's just check. Well, nobody's saying not. They don't want to see it. So June is all about teaching you how to make, how to wrap wool around wire, which I'm going to show you in a minute too, but you can perfect it with the Christmas in June flock box. So you are getting, yes, Christmas dinner. No. Oh, you're making, yes, no, it's not Christmas dinner. But it is this. Okay, let me show you overhead. This is what's in the June box. You're making little Christmas decoration using wire and wool. And you get in your kit, or in your box, you get the wool, you get those bits. You might have to take a little bit of yellow from your sheep swatch, okay, just a tiny bit. But it's about showing you different ways of how to wrap wire, and you will be absolutely perfect wrapping wool around wire by the end of this. So you get everything in the box that you need. You also might get a bit of Angelina fiber, but we don't talk about that yet. You just have to wait a little bit longer. So I hope that's making you all excited, but I want to show you quickly how to make a dragonfly, and then I'm going to go and eat my supper, and this time I will eat it before I go to bed, rather than last night where it became too late for me to even think about food. So I've just cut a random bit of wire off. I happen to have a dragonfly here. Obviously we do these organza wings in different colors, as you can see here. So it's a slightly different color from the white version you've got here. We put white in the box because we thought they're the most versatile. And you will also need none of the wool that's in the kit, but you could use some of our very exciting multicolored wool tops. So I'm just going to tease off a little bit. And because it's a very thin, slippery wire, I'm actually going to put a bit of glue on it. However, you can also add a bit of woolly wax. However you normally prepare your wire. Obviously, we will talk about this so much more in with the next box. And start adding the wool to the wire. So it shouldn't slip because I've just added a bit of glue on there. And then bend the end in. One end will be very skinny because that's the tail end of the dragonfly, and the other end you will be building a little bit of bulk. So just get that layer on, and I am going to continue adding tiny bits of glue to the wire, going up the wire, just so that the first layer of wool will stay in place and doesn't slip. So just get to the other end. I haven't quite decided yet which one is which end. Depends how neat the other end is going to be, but I have a feeling that this end is going to be the head end. So bend that in as well. So you get rid of the pokey wire, and then you're going to continue wrapping the wool around it. And then you're going to start with a new strand. Now this has got different shades of purple, but we have amazing different color wool tops. So have a look what you can find that you like. and just start adding a little bit more wool to the head. It's always annoying when you think, oh, I've got the nicest shade on the top, and then you go over it again because you have to. So I'm going to go down the tail now and make that a bit stripy, and then I'm not going to touch the tail again. But you can use your fine felting needle and just felt the wool down a little bit. I'm going to put more layers on top because I need to build up a lot more of that head. And what also makes the dragonfly look like a dragonfly is when you pose it, so you can bend it in. Sometimes they have their tails sticking right up in the air. And this wool here, by the way, is our Cornish seaside. Works really well for dragonflies. But this one is the one that I've just grabbed from what was the nearest to me. So building that head up a little bit more, and I'm just letting the wool do its thing now. Try to wrap the wool in the same direction as you did before, or just tighten it and then felt it down. And when you've got the desired shape, then obviously you attach the wings in the same way as I've shown it to you with the bee. So you can use the acetate wings or the organza wings, either way. I think the organza wings are more realistic because you've got two same size wings, and that seems to be sort of like they have 4 wings and they tend to be quite big and long and thin. So I think the organza wings probably work better on this, on the dragonfly. And then bend the shape in a little bit, and then I've got I've got another set of wings left. So to attach them, you actually need to crisscross them. So like that, so have them like this. And then find the top here. Don't move. Tiny bit of the purple wool and felt on top and through the wings to attach. And because you want the wings potentially standing up a little bit, I'll show you something else in a minute, like that. So you can actually bend the wings up and then just felt underneath the wings. So give them a couple of stabs so that you force them to come up a bit. And then you can, if you want to, you can flatten them a little bit again. And there's your dragonfly. Zip. If you know somebody who's keen on dragonflies, it's a really good project to make up for somebody who loves dragonflies. And if this is annoying you with these bits here, then do use our woolly wax, which I can't put my hands on right away now, because somebody's been tidying up here for me, namely my middle daughter. But you can also just use a tiny bit of glue on your finger. I've done that before. Put the lid on and then just smooth it out, smooth it over so that the glue holds the shape of the wool. Like that. Cut a bit off. There we go. It's got a friend. Yay! Here we go. That's how you do the dragonflies. And you can also use the wire to make little delicate wire wings and pop them on your bee. Depends how big depends how creative you want to be. But there are lots and lots of ways of using the wool. And if you've got white wool, like the white top, that they can just be bee wings as well. We have got free tutorials for making bees on our YouTube channel. I can feel color is coming into my face from this glass of cider, which I think is a good clue, a good cue even to make that the evening finish the evening. Right, so let's have a look. Last check-in and then we go. Oh, Christmas, I love everything Christmas. Oh, I'm so glad you say that. It's always a little bit, you know, I don't want to see Christmas stuff in shops, but as a crafter, come on, you know, we only have so many hours in the day. I already made one, great minds. I'm making a wreath of the Christmas dinner. Oh, I like them, says Anne. Genius decorations. Oh, wow, thank you, Michael. No, take that as a compliment. Florist tape. Yeah, florist tape is great for preparing your wire. Show us what are the PDF instructions. We're staying with Christmas. And because you're going to be masters, absolute masters at wrapping wire with wool, we're treating you to 3 of our past fairies. They're not the official flower fairies, but they are Christmas themed fairies. So that's what you are getting. Is it best to use tops for this rather than carded? For the dragonfly, I'm using the tops because I love that multicolor. You can use bats, but the tops give that sort of real effect of how dragonflies, how they're never just a plain color, are they? They're almost sometimes iridescent. So you can add a little bit of Angelina fiber into it as well. Love making dragonflies, says Fiona. Is that a new blue top? So it's our plum tones. We have got it. It might look a little bit blue on the camera, but it's actually purple, and it's got normally a red running through, but I might have taken that out for the fairy, the pansy fairy. The longer fiber strands on the top make it easier to wrap tightly, and bats wouldn't give a smooth, light finish. No, the finish won't be smooth, but you can smooth it over. But I love the tops for the color change. Any tips for cutting out the wings when left-handed? I may need to invest in left-handed scissors, as can't see the lines. Yes. So, why is it harder to cut left-handed? Unless you don't have left-handed scissors. I suppose if you hold the scissors in an awkward way, right-handed, to try and use right-handed scissors to cut left-handed, then maybe you can't see it. Now, I'm giving you a tip here, because I see these guys at the show loads of times, and they're called, oh gosh, no, I can't even remember what they're called, gyro something or the other, and it's a pen that is a really sharp knife. Look it up, give it a Google, I'm sure that you'll find it. Thanks so much for all your time and amazing tips. Christmas presents, great idea. Amber says, gonna make one of these dragonflies for sure. Heidi says, thanks for a great session. Love the wire Christmas decoration. Have a wonderful holiday and don't work too much. I try not. Dragonflies on a mobile would be lovely. Thank you so much, Steffi and team. As always, have really enjoyed the flock gathering. On that note, thank you very much, everybody. Sending you lots of love, and get going with those bees and take the wool off that sheep now. See you soon. Bye.